Well, it's not just him, it's the whole team. James Tavernier is not the real reason why Rangers have lost the league and why they've lost 3 times to Celtic this season on a draw. I just wish Philippe Clement would come out and say Celtic have been the best team this season. That's it. They have been the best team. Who would you rather have in the middle of the park? Hatate, McGregor, O'Reilly, or Lundstrom, Diomandi and Lawrence? I know a lot of the people that, even Rangers supporters are answer me that. Rangers have got no pace in the team. You look at Celtic's wide men, Forrest and Maeda. They can run in behind. Kyogo's 7 goals in 12 games now against Rangers. Why doesn't he just look in the mirror, look at his squad and say they've had a brilliant effort, they made a really good title, they made a really good race of this, but they've come up short. And it's no miracle that Celtic have been better this season. They've put a really good run together towards the end, and they've come out champions once again.
And maybe he'll do that, John, once it's mathematically impossible.
But Paul, he won't. He probably
Oh, he
won't.
might.
He'll go
He
on about
might.
injuries again. Are people missing the point that Celtic have played half the season without Hatate? Played half the season without Carter Vickers. Their captain, Callum McGregor, was out for a long time. Every team has injuries, but you've just got to deal with them. You need to have a squad big enough to make changes when you have injuries. So for me, he's coming out with all these excuses and everything else. And if we'd scored 2, but Mr. Clement, you didn't score 2 if we'd scored the first goal. But you didn't score the first goal. He'd save face a lot for me, Paul, if he just said, look, we have lost to the better team this season. They've come on stronger in the end, and they've accumulated more points than us.
Stephen?
I just think I think the month he had when he lost to Motherwell, lost to Ross County Drew, I just think that totally caught him off guard. I think he's been shell-shocked ever since of that. I think things have got to him that previously weren't getting to him. I think he's had a few bites, obviously back at Celtic in the media. And it's, like Paul said, he's a long-time Rangers fan. He knows a lot about these players. Phil Clement had only seen the best of these guys. He'd seen John Lundstrom at his best, James Tavernier at his best, all these guys at their best. In that month, I think it caught him by surprise. And we've gave Phil Clement... I mean, Rangers are only in the title race because Phil Clement kept them in it. We've given him a lot of praise in the show, but I think over the last 2 or 3 weeks he's been caught out by the ferociousness of this rivalry and blowing that lead. And I felt like the golf chat. I mean, the golf in the last 3 games, Celtic have probably blown Rangers away, probably in the first half in all 3 games.
They've been 2 up.
But if I was a Rangers player, manager, or fan, I would take a lot of positives in the fact that they've stayed in the game. In terms of the game at Ibrox, it should have been 3 or 4-0 at half time, but they went out and won the second half 3-1. The first game, obviously, it looked like Celtic were going to make it, and even at the weekend, Celtic didn't put them away. I would take a lot of confidence of that as a player, that you could win the cup final, because even if you can hang in through a bad spell, you can turn the game. But Phil Clement going into that game, I felt he showed that there was a gulf. He was the one speaking about going to the Coliseum, Gladiators and this big thing, and the way he set up the team, I don't think he believes that Rangers could win that on Saturday. I think you could sense it almost from kick-off. And players, with a manager, it's the hardest job in football. You have to have a poker face all the time, and there's no way the players didn't sense that the manager didn't think they could win on Saturday. The way he's setting them up, I've been to Celtic Park a lot as a player, and always been with a much inferior team. And most times, the manager knows you can't win unless something really goes. You play the game of your lives. You're set up to kind of hang in. The tactics Rangers deployed on Saturday was something, the tactics we quite often use, maybe at St Mirren, at Dundee. You try and leave. They left Liam Scales on the ball, and they kind of went man for man all over the pitch. And from goal kicks, they were just trying to hit Greg Taylor, trying to just get up the park, win set pieces. At points in that game, Rangers showed Rangers pay a lot of money for some of these players. Guys like John Lundstrom are a lot of money, big money signings.
The wage bill's bigger.
Fabio Silva was a big money in terms of outlay and wages. They set up like an inferior SPL team, Premier League team, instead of saying we are coming here to win this game. That's what I felt going into it. That's what I thought he showed that it might have been he thinks is a gulf.